Hi, good morning, everybody. Today I wanted to do a quick video, relatively quick, probably like 20 minutes quick, on the Drolet 1500 that I had bought last year. Only because last year when I was buying this product, this fireplace insert, the kind that you stuff inside the chimney just to maintain the efficiency of the fireplace by shooting out, keeping the heat within the house about, what I've read is from 60 to 75%, whereas a typical masonry fireplace or just a regular fireplace would just shoot out most of the heat, making it very inefficient. So this is what we got, and we like the aesthetic of it as well. So it's it was a lot. There was a lot of choices to choose from on the market, but a lot of them were either too expensive, in my opinion, or the look of it is just a little bit too much. I wanted something minimal in terms of design goes, and effectiveness is just simple. The fan, for example, for me, it's just nice, quiet, on and off. It's a variable speed one, but it gives you the option to turn it off, which I really appreciate, just because sometimes you just don't want to hear that noise. Even though it's when on a low setting, the volume is very low. What else? The size here for me, it's perfect. This one is just about, let's say it's about 30 width, so you're looking at about 26 inches wide. But look on the details of this Drolet 1500, which you'll find a manual pretty much anywhere online, or the description on a lot of product listings you'll find for places that sells them. Okay, just getting straight into the meat of this video. The point here is to show you guys how this thing operate. For me, there's a bunch of ways to light a fire, especially a lot of you guys looking to burn probably already know. But for those that don't already know, you just start out with your kindling. And the objective of these guys are just to get the fires going really fast, just to light up the bulk of your wood. At least that's my perspective of that. And when you set these guys up, you just want to create it in a tic-tac-toe layout, if you will, just to allow air to flow through, the fire and the wood to keep it going. If there's like very low movement of air, it's very hard to get the wood in those areas that have little air movement, little oxygen to burn. So the tic-tac-toe method is I think, tried and true through the years. A lot of people already know that. Okay, so get that going at the bottom. And the objective too with these fireplace inserts that I've read a lot online is to really burn as long as possible while emitting the level of warmth you want, because you don't want to come in here every 2 to 3 hours to relight your fire. It's fun at first, but over time it's just a little bit too much fire maintenance, especially if you're trying to keep this as a full-time heating source, as your main heating source, in which we don't do. We try to keep it at having moved from the city just a year ago. We like conveniences of backup plans and whatnot. So while this is sufficient for us in certain days, when it gets so cold, or when we get in those lazy moods where we don't want to maintain the fire, definitely a backup source like a gas heater for us is what we supplement this fireplace insert with. And it's pretty cool. It might not be sufficient for us in the second winter, since we're going to have a lot more guests now that the house is fully renovated. We just moved here to Idlewild just about a year ago, less than a year ago, January 12th to be exact. Now that we're here, Winter's coming around again, even though we're still in about September, I mean mid-August, and it's warm, but this past few days, a couple of days have been pretty chilly, so it gives me an opportunity to create this video to hopefully help some of you guys out if you're trying to make decisions on which fireplace insert to buy for your upcoming winter. Okay, so with all of those kindlers inside, these are rather dry, super dried out for months. So, and they're pine. I like to use pine because they're very soft wood and then they burn really quick. And they're definitely not the main, fiery heating source because they're just soft wood, which is known to, leave back a lot of resins along your chimney liner. I forgot what they're called. Not vermiculite. So you'll find out soon enough. They'll leave resins along your chimney liner going up, and if you don't maintain that resin by either scraping it off manually, hiring somebody, chimney sweepers, to come by to clean it up, or maybe just burning these logs that emit chemicals to break those down. If you don't do those like regularly, not regular as in often, if you don't do that periodically, like once a year or maybe twice, 3 times depending on your situation, then you can easily have a chimney fire that just pretty much sets all of those like condensed resin, which is kind of like charcoal plus gunpowder, if you will. Not as intense as gunpowder, but they can easily just catch fire and kind of shoots out the chimney, and you see the flame blowing out of the chimney. Those are called chimney fire, and which obviously creates a pretty big fire hazard. Okay, so back to the fire. Now that I got the fire going, what I wanted to say was these are rather dry, so I don't really need to do too much to get these like lit up and going. And my tactic in using pine wood is that it's soft, it burns really fast, and though it's less moisture in here, so it might not leave as much of those resins, but likely it will still, being a soft wood and having a lot of the resins inside. The burn is rather quick. I'm not using big logs of them, so I'm not too concerned about them leaving resins along the liners. My main source is really the oak wood, just because for me, for several reasons. One, they don't have too much of those resins inside. I don't know if that's rather true or not. That's just the things that I've read. And number two, it's a very dense, heavy wood, especially relative to pine, which is just like cedar on the soft, very soft side. Not as soft as cedar, I don't think. But they burn much longer. These are the guys. These are one of the tricks to allow your chimney to burn much longer. I mean, almost twice as long as the pine wood. So when you're getting these chimneys and you want it to last, or these fireplace inserts, and you want them to last long, even upwards to 8 hours, I would say in the 7-hour zone. But if you want the red embers to last like through the night, so that when you wake up, 8 to 10 hours later, it's still coaly in there. When you add wood, it wouldn't take much to get another fire going, and that's really the goal. 8 hours long to allow you to sleep through the night, embers still rolling, hot red, and when you put the fire on, your next log of whether it's pine to get it going again at the bottom, to get the wood, to get the main oak hardwood source going, then it's the way to go. So let me get started here with burning these guys. Okay, let's see how these baby burned. Probably isn't going to burn the greatest here. The way I laid it out, you want to keep it vertical, the wood vertical, in order for it to like rise and catch the wood above it. Let's see, that looks like it might be going, but if not, the cool thing is I have these kindlers here. They're like, I didn't really chop them up any thinner. Okay, I'll just be more thoughtful with the layout right here to get these guys going. kind of like pyramiding it a bit. Just there you go. Just to allow the fire to catch from below, and we all know fire rises, so it's gonna burn to the top. See, let's see, that one should go, and get the thinner part of the wood. Okay, those burn much easier, like paper. And get back over here. I have these torch lighters that I use. They're outside right now, but they're amazing. It's called Benzomatic or something. If you want to use something that burns fire pretty relatively quick compared to these guys, especially, definitely get those. Here, let me break off a piece of these special kindlers that I have that has like a lot of pine oil within, and they're denser than the pine itself, and they'll keep alight for a good while. They burn rather easily too. Okay, here, I left a piece in there. I treat these guys like gold. I can talk more in detail with that in another video, but here, once you get this baby lit, it stays lit pretty well. Okay, there you go. If you look closely, it has, I don't know if you can see that, but probably not. I can't see it. You'll see the sizzling of the oils that are on it still. Okay, so I get that going. My goal, my technique really is to get the fire going as fast as we possibly can. Just fast as we possibly can, as hot as we possibly can, so that I can set these baby on. And that the faster and hotter it is in there, the quicker we can get these guys going, and the quicker we can set this whole system between the door being slightly open to allow certain draft to this other choker, if you will, which allows air to come through from the bottom as well. These are ways that we control our fire to, one, control the strength, and two, duration of the fire. Okay. So once I go and see if I shut it a bit, I create a little draft from the air coming in and out. And because of this draft, it just makes the fire a lot more tense, and it just creates it, it would just get the fire going much faster. So I'll let that go for a second. I can keep adding more wood. Let's add a little bit more wood. Okay. Again, the goal here is to get this baby going as fast as we can. Okay, maybe I should have added more wood. Be more thoughtful with that from the beginning. Sorry, y'all. But again, this is about the Drolet 1500i. Here you go. Let me give you guys a little bit more look at this. Bought this guy. It came with the 25-foot Vortex liner, which is the metal liner, the metal 6-inch tube that you are supposed to just line through your chimney. We had to cut out metal piece of the chimney, which was a pretty tough process. Kind of have to have a professional if you don't have the tools to do it. It costs you a few $100, but we have to cut that metal out and then pretty much shove that liner through the chimney, because the chimney wasn't exactly the type that was designed for that, which I doubt a lot of chimneys are. But yeah, it was quite a bit of work, especially because these babies are like hefty, so maneuvering them around to get that liner to fit to the top in such a tight space. My whole arm got so black from all the ashes or the smoke resins that were in there prior. Okay, so these guys are going. Let's keep adding fire to the fuel here for fun. Okay, again, my goal is to get these guys going like blazing fast. Okay, now that it's there, it's not really strong in my opinion yet. So again, there you go. Let's up the intensity a bit. Get it going. distribute the heat. Hopefully you can get all the fire, all the wood burning, because the more wood that burns, the hotter it'll be inside. Because right now the fire is only being, kept by the concentration of the wood in the middle. So hopefully it'll distribute the wood all around with this draft blowing everywhere. And then I can add even more wood, because these puppies right here, these oak wood, they're more expensive. I say just about almost twice, about 75 to 100% more costly than these guys. And for me, I thought I'd want to go with these because, just to save some money. But seeing that this thing burns almost twice as long, I definitely want to go with these from now on, just because my time to refill them is a lot more important. And with just reading up on a lot of wood and burning several species of them, I've become very fond of these wood and these oak trees. For me, it's like they're gold. They're not worth their weight in gold. Well, pretty much are. And it helped me relate to a lot of the furniture we bought that we thought was very special. It's like our oak bed and our oak dining table. They're quite expensive, high quality, and I'm not, into expensive furniture, but I do love high quality. I really appreciate high quality. And all the wine barrels, whiskey barrels, they tend to be kept in aged in oak. So oak to me is just French oak, white French oak. That's what you want. Okay, see the fire? Now it's going. Let's add some more of these baby though. Let's make it even more intense. Okay, because once it gets super intense, I'm using this is what left over from my construction, some of these 2x4 pine, and a combination of that along with some oak tree that was cut in our neighborhood by the city, or contracted out by the city to this company, and then they just gave me like 5 rounds. Typically they don't. I don't think. You just gotta be nice to them and they'll hook it up. Let's see here. Keep going. Let this puppy go in for a bit. And with the what else can I tell you about these puppy? This guy is about $2,200 for a 25-footer. If you have 1 to 2 story high building, a chimney. If a 3-story high, then we do have a 35-footer as well, which is only $100 more. So worth it, so awesome. I bought this additional fire screen during those times where you want to keep this door open. I didn't find it too useful, but if you don't think your fire is hot enough, it's a cool way to keep it open, or it's just for aesthetic. Okay, so this is about ready. Just priming that hot bed of coal. Let me put on my gloves here. Hot bed of coal for the arrival of these oak tree pieces here. They're heavy. Oh, and I love it. Okay. All right, guys. See, once you know they're like just all burning in there, let me get a fire poker here. Then we can lay them in. Okay. I've never made a long YouTube video like this before, but I really was hoping this video was out there. For some reason, it didn't make me feel like Drolet was a trustworthy brand, just because I didn't get a lot of feedback. It didn't seem like it was on the market for long. But I hope you guys do get it, just because it's very effective for me. And it comes down, what I found out is it really comes down to the attention you give the fire, as far as learning how this chimney or this insert works, along with how the nature of certain wood, how they burn. Like I said, some people just prefer only hardwood. Some prefer softwood because it's less expensive, and to them, heat is heat. But for me or other people that are more particular and want it to burn longer or cleaner, then you know, it's the world's your oysters. There's a bunch out there for you to be able to pick from. And I think the insert, it's chill. It's clean enough. And you have that, those pipes, the second burners they call, that burns the smoke to make it more efficient. Okay, I forgot what the technology is called. Something with like carbon. I don't know. It's also in electric cars, but okay. See, now that baby's going. Let's see here, between these two wood pieces, I will. This guy seems more stable, so I'll put this guy at the bottom. Boom. Get that going right there. And then, in what way can I put this so that it can allow like draft to go through? Sideways. Okay, it's not too cold today, so I'm gonna just only do about 40% capacity for this insert. So it's loaded. The fire probably could have gone a little bit more, but I think this is sufficient with leaving this choker. I forgot what this is called. You'll easily find out. It's on the side of most, if not all, of these fireplace insert, or the wood burning stove, which is the same thing but outside the chimney instead of inside. Okay. Yeah, these, to control the amount of air that goes into your insert or stove, you can either use the drawer, like I said prior, or this. Most times when I'm ready to slow down the burning because it's all going really efficiently, I would just close the door and I still leave this open so that it still maintains the burn. And as it gets comfortably settled with the burn, no momentum is already created, then I would close this up a bit all the way to even fully, if the fire is already like, if the momentum is so strong that nothing's going to stop it, I feel, then I would just close this all together. And that's what keeps it for me going throughout the night. But you really have to understand the stage at which your wood is burning, because if you only have the external layer, that's not enough momentum, that's not enough burnt feel, in my opinion, to keep the wood burning through the night. You got to burn it almost to like at least a quarter through the wood surface, in order for it to have that kind of momentum. You see, gotta keep going, let the wood burn as fast as you can. Okay, once it goes to a very intense level and you can feel like it's just about 10 to 15, if not 20% burnt through the surface of your main source, which is the oak wood, then you can close the door. Then eventually this little choker, I call it a choker just because it's kind of the same idea with our with the motorcycle that I used to have, letting the mixture combination of gas and air through to allow the burning of the gas, which is very much the same concept. Okay. All right, y'all. Well, anyways, if you have any questions, feel free to let me know, and we can hopefully get you guys the right insert for your new home or your existing home. Take care.